I wanted to give you an extra example of how to write the linear equation when given a point on the line and the equation of a different line that is parallel or perpendicular to the line that we need to write the linear equation for. Okay. Now, here's the specific situation. In this case, we're going to write the equation of the line that passes through the point 3, negative 4 and is perpendicular to 8x plus 6y equals 15. Now, by the way, I'm going to introduce some notation here. Notation is like a shorthand or an abbreviation. Perpendicular can be abbreviated with an upside down T. It sort of looks like a 90-degree angle, right? So anyways, let's go ahead and do the math. First thing I want to point out is that we're going to use the point slope form y minus y1 equals x times, equals m times x minus x1. And where we get this formula from is from the formula for slope, which is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This formula, if we rewrite it, it can look like this. Of course, replacing the x2 with x and x1 stays x1. Replace the y2 with y. Anyways, we're going to use this to get a y equals mx plus b for the equation that passes through 3, negative 4 and is perpendicular to 8x plus 6y equals 15. Let's see here. So first thing we need, we have this point with x1 and y1. So we're going to replace this 3, we're going to put it where x1 is. And we're going to take the negative 4 and we're going to put it where y1 is. But the problem is we don't have the slope. We need m. So the way we'll find that is we'll rearrange this guy to get slope. So we take 8x plus 6y equals 15. And we'll just rearrange. This is the same as 6y equals negative 8x plus 15. All I did is subtract 8x from both sides. And then divide both sides by 6. So we get y equals negative 8 sixths x. And then plus 15 sixths. And then we'll reduce to get our slope. So this will be y equals negative 4 thirds x. And you can reduce this too if you want. That'll get us 5 halves, I believe. And then we now have our m. So m in our case equals negative 4 thirds. And we have this point x1, y1, 3, negative 4, x1, y1. I will tell you this, for those of you who think you're saving yourself time by not labeling everything or not writing everything out, well, unfortunately, sometimes shortcuts lead to the completely wrong answer. So take your time, write it out, and reflect upon what you're writing and why you're writing it. Okay, so now let's go ahead and take these things and plug them into this point slope equation. So we say y minus y1, well, y1 is a negative 4, so that'll be like y plus 4, equals negative 4 thirds times x, that's from the point slope form, minus whatever x1 is, so that's 3. And then we'll go ahead and we'll distribute that. Normally, I do not like distributing a fraction, but in this case I need to get my y equals mx plus b. So this will be y plus 4 equals negative 4 thirds x. And then negative 4 thirds times negative 3. That is worth doing off to the side to make sure we get it right. It's negative 4 over 3 times negative 3 over 1. When we do that, we can see that this guy cancels with this guy. That gets us 1 and negative 1. And then the negative 1 cancels with the negative sign. So ultimately that gets us 4. That's kind of a pleasant surprise. So that'll be plus 4. We then subtract 4 from both sides. And in this case we get an interesting result. Y equals negative 4 thirds x. And there is no y-intercept. So this would be the equation of the line that we're trying to find. So if we want to write the equation of the line that passes through 3 comma negative 4 and is perpendicular to 8x plus 6y equals 15, well then we do this. And by the way, I just noticed something else. I did probably more work than I needed to do. Up here in my original equation, I was thinking I could reduce. Nope, never mind. I was thinking I could divide everything through by 3, but that's not true. And I cannot divide everything through by 2. If I could divide everything through by some number, I would, but I can't. Now, if you really want to understand what's happening here, it would be a good idea to take this equation and put it into either GeoGebra or Desmos, the online graphing calculators, and then put this equation into either GeoGebra or Desmos, again, the same program, and then put this point in. And then you'll have a better idea visually how they're related. I'm going to see if I can show you that real quick. So I went to GeoGebra. And by the way, I'd love for you to try this on your own as well. It'll really help you put things together to see the algebra and the graph at the same time. I want to point out that what we were given was this line, 8x plus 6y equals 15. And we were given this point, 3 comma negative 4. And we were told to write the equation of the line that goes through this point. Looking at it graphically is so worthwhile because it really makes more sense what you're trying to accomplish. A lot of times what happens is people will discover whatever the y-intercept is, like in this case they might discover that the y-intercept was 5/2, and what they'll do is they'll just go ahead and they'll say, oh, it's negative 4/3 x, and then they'll just change the y value to this one, negative 4. That's not correct. You don't get the right answer. Instead, let's go ahead and turn on y equals negative 4/3 x. I'm going to go ahead and turn that guy on. And you can see you definitely get a line that's parallel to the original line, and it goes through the point. But you'll notice the y-intercept is 0. It's not negative 4. 3 comma negative 4 is not a y-intercept. So you really need to use the point-slope form of the equation, fill in all the stuff, and rearrange to get the answer. All right, folks. Good luck.